Chainlink are a crypto project which I've been looking at for a while now, and for those who aren't familiar with this project, Chainlink are intending to bridge the gap between the smart contract world and the real-world applications which would benefit from their use, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. Earlier today, Chainlink surpassed its previous all-time high and briefly reached $25 per unit, and this is really huge news. And together with a few other factors which we'll be discussing in this video, I believe that Chainlink is well positioned to experience a potentially substantial breakout. But before we get to that, if you're not yet subscribed to our channel, remember that we're doing monthly crypto giveaways, and all you have to do to be automatically entered for all of our giveaways from now on is subscribe to the channel. Chainlink are now the 7th largest crypto project in terms of market capitalization, and are therefore now in optimum discovery territory. You see, when a project enters into the top 10, and particularly when they get down toward the top 5 area, two very important things happen. First of all, the mere fact of being in the top 10 is a huge prestige for the crypto project, and it has financially beneficial implications as well, as being in the top 10 is almost like an unofficial validation of actually being a worthwhile and useful crypto project, as opposed to being one of the 8,000 or so nameless and usually useless crypto projects out there. The second benefit of getting into the top 10 is that being so close to the likes of Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP, in other words being near the big capital in the crypto market, aids the discovery of Chainlink by close association. For example, imagine the average crypto investor. Most people in the crypto market aren't interested in anything but Bitcoin, and that's why Bitcoin's market share is still over 60% of all of the capital in the crypto market. Now, if we were to show the average investor a number of crypto projects 100 or 200 spaces down the list, they probably wouldn't have heard of any, and so they would all likely seem too small and too risky to invest. But take any of those same projects and wedge it between Bitcoin and Ethereum or any of the major projects, and all of a sudden the association of this project with the larger projects almost validates its worth. And even so, the average investor is far more likely to research and check out the project, potentially investing if the project is up there with the big players which Chainlink now is. And so on account of this point, I personally expect to see an increased volume in the interest of this project, and naturally we can assume that the higher the number of people researching the project, the more investment the project will receive. Another point which aids discovery is when a project surpasses its previous all-time high. When a crypto project, as Chainlink has just done, rises to a price level in excess of its previous all-time high, this alone attracts a lot of attention, as after all investors want to be where the action is, and there are few better attention draws than a rapidly rising price. And a subsequent effect of having surpassed a previous all-time high is that there will be a lot of news coverage and social media activity highlighting the event, which again in turn increases the amount of attention which the project receives and will increase the investment in roughly the same proportions. These factors working together will likely push a massive amount of attention Chainlink's way, but there is also another important factor which makes the likelihood of a breakout even greater in my opinion. And that's the fact that Chainlink, unlike many of the crypto projects, actually has a useful value proposition which there is proven demand for. Chainlink's primary value proposition is that they intend to bridge the gap between smart contract services and the applications which would likely use them. And this is a very valuable service, as individually both things exist. I mean, we have smart contracts in the blockchain space, and equally we have businesses and other organizations which would benefit from their use. But the thing which a lot of people in blockchain and in crypto sometimes forget is that to people who aren't familiar with the crypto space and the premise of blockchain technology, it all can be a bit confusing. And so I truly do believe that there is demand for a project like Chainlink if the development team are diligent and play their cards right. And so my analysis that a breakout in Chainlink is likely to occur at some point in the near future is of course not guaranteed, as nothing is, but in my opinion it's very likely and is supported by a fair few good points. First of all, we have the increased level of exposure that Chainlink are receiving because of their relatively newfound position in the top 10, and then we have the fact that they have recently surpassed their previous all-time high, and so Chainlink are now receiving even more attention because of the articles and news highlighting the event, and all of this additional exposure is feeding into more research being done on the project and ultimately more potential investors. Now the final point is that Chainlink actually have a good value proposition which is likely to increase the percentage of new potential investors who actually invest. Anyway, that's all for this video, and again I just want to say that a breakout in price isn't guaranteed because in crypto, just as with any other investment category, nothing is ever for sure. But looking at the factors surrounding the situation, personally I think that a further breakout at some point is fairly likely. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more.